In the tapestry of an ordinary school day, our tale unfolds with a young boy, an unwitting poet of glances, ensnared by the allure of a girl in his class. His eyes betray him, lingering on her as if under a spell. Yet, the revelation that they share a history stretching back to their childhood casts an unexpected light. They're more like siblings than mere classmates. Amidst his introspective musings on preserving the sanctity of their bond, a lively interruption comes in the form of a friend, a jester breaking the boy's contemplative spell. The girl, named Nishina, becomes a subject of amusement as our hero is good-naturedly accused of treading into the realm of the peculiar. Attempting to safeguard the sanctity of his private reflections, our protagonist dismisses his friend's teasing, wishing to shield the tender threads of his innermost thoughts. The banter persists, spotlighting the whimsy inherent in growing up with a captivating childhood companion. In defense, he playfully denies the label of best friends, insisting that his rapport with Nishina is more nuanced. As the conversational currents shift, attention turns to the enigmatic bag our hero carries. Unveiling a hidden layer of his life, it unravels that he is an active participant in a kendo class. Intriguingly, this pursuit is not fueled by personal passion but rather a paternal decree. His father, a guiding force, insists on the acquisition of kendo and judo skills, a pragmatic preparation for self-defense. Thus, our protagonist's journey transcends the ordinary, weaving the tapestry of his everyday life into a tale of friendship, self-discovery, and familial expectations. In the labyrinth of his young ambitions, our hero, Yuta, harbors an unconventional aspiration, mastering martial arts not for noble pursuits, but with the peculiar goal of potentially dealing with future workplace grievances. It's a far cry from the heroic sagas of old, yet Yuta is content with the pragmatic approach to his training. Adding a twist to this unfolding narrative, we discover that Yuta's father crafts video games for a living. Before we can delve deeper into this familial connection, a sudden interruption unfolds, an odd and mysterious figure with a pod on its head, a bizarre monster whose appearance raises eyebrows without any apparent reason. As the narrative threads begin to unravel, the boy's identity is revealed, Yuta. However, there's little time for introductions as the monster suddenly materializes beside him. The seemingly innocuous pod on its head morphs into a grotesque and terrifying face, launching an unexpected assault on Yuta, pushing him perilously close to the edge of a window. Panic ensues among onlookers as the situation becomes increasingly dire. Yuta, grappling with the monster's overpowering strength, finds himself at the mercy of this nightmarish encounter. Amidst the chaos, regrets echo in his thoughts, lamenting the unspoken feelings for Nishina that may never find expression. Just as despair looms over our tragic hero, a ray of hope pierces through the darkness. An enigmatic angelic presence intervenes, forging a connection with Yuta's soul. Abruptly, our protagonist awakens in a mysterious forest under the cloak of night. Disoriented and grappling with the aftermath of the encounter, Yuta gathers his bearings, speculating that he might still be within the confines of his school. Drawing upon his martial arts training, Yuta contemplates his miraculous survival from the fall. Yet, the eerie silence of the forest and the absence of any familiar faces leave him feeling isolated. Seeking answers, he reaches for his phone, attempting to call his father, only to discover an unsettling truth: no network connection. As Yuta tentatively navigates the unfamiliar landscape, he begins to fathom that he might be nestled in the heart of mountainous terrain. Assuming he's merely a short walk away from the comforts of his town, he anticipates regaining cell service soon. However, his expectations are shattered when distant lights materialize, revealing not a welcoming town but an imposing giant castle. To compound the surreal scene, the castle is guarded by airborne creatures reminiscent of dragons. Overwhelmed by the fantastical spectacle before him, Yuta grapples with the realization that he is far from Earth. Gazing up at the alien sky, adorned with a purple hue and featuring both a red and a blue moon, he recognizes the stark departure from his familiar reality. Despite these bewildering signs, Yuta hesitates to accept reincarnation as the cause, as he remains in his earthly body. As the magnitude of the situation sinks in, Yuta's contemplation is interrupted by approaching figures. To his relief, it's a girl accompanied by a talking bird, a duo that epitomizes the enchantment of this newfound world. The girl, with an uncanny resemblance to Nishina, adds another layer of intrigue to Yuta's already perplexing journey. This charming knight introduces herself as Lumi, a paladin hailing from the Caesar kingdom. Her initial gaze carries a hint of skepticism, unfamiliar with Yuta's presence in her realm. The striking resemblance between Lumi and Nishina sparks a glimmer of hope for Yuta, who now contemplates the possibility that this fantasy world holds more than just mythical creatures and unfamiliar landscapes. As the curtain of uncertainty lifts, Yuta finds himself standing at the crossroads of an otherworldly adventure, with Lumi as his unexpected guide through the realms of the Caesar kingdom. Caught in the crossfire of confusion, Yuta complies with Lumi's request to unveil his identity, sharing his full name with an attempt at humor, dubbing himself the Sun. However, his jest falls flat, failing to amuse the knight. Yet, Yuta inadvertently casts a spell of a different kind, as Lumi finds herself strangely captivated by his voice, a peculiar reaction that leaves both her and her talking bird companion entranced. Perplexed by the mystical unfolding before him, Yuta attempts to maintain a semblance of calm. The situation takes an unexpected turn when Lumi, drawing her sword, seemingly prepares to apprehend Yuta. Swift to defend himself, he denies being the person Lumi seeks. However, the revelation that shocks the knight is not related to any misdeeds but rather Yuta's gender. Baffled by Lumi's astonishment, Yuta inquires whether men are unwelcome in this realm or if there's a deity with a disdain for them. In response, Lumi, now blushing, stumbles over her words, leaving Yuta in a state of perpetual confusion. Concerned for her well-being, he notices the flush on her face, prompting an inquiry into her condition. Rather than shedding light on the mysteries at hand, Lumi deflects the conversation, accusing Yuta of being the architect of his own peculiar appearance. His bewilderment deepens as Lumi, in an unexpected twist, contemplates taking his life. However, a fortunate intervention occurs as her avian companion advises against it, sparing Yuta from an untimely demise. The enigma surrounding Yuta's existence in this fantastical realm only intensifies, with Lumi's presence becoming a paradoxical thread in the unfolding tapestry of his extraordinary journey. In the midst of this surreal encounter, Genius, the articulate bird, adds another layer of intrigue to the unfolding tale. With the ability to speak the human language, Genius becomes a beacon of potential understanding for Yuta. Eager for a connection to his familiar world, Yuta inquires if the bird is aware of Earth. However, this innocent query earns him a rebuke from Lumi, who insists on treating Genius with the respect befitting his divine status. The revelation that Genius is considered a deity adds a surreal twist to the unfolding drama. Yuta, with a touch of humor, refers to the bird as just that, a bird. Unwittingly provoking Lumi's ire, he questions if Genius possesses knowledge about Earth. Lumi, staunch in her defense of Genius's divine nature, scolds Yuta, asserting that Genius, being a god, would not make for a palatable meal even if cooked. Before the conversation can delve deeper into the dynamics of godhood, an unexpected interruption occurs. A mysterious substance descends from a tree, poised to land on Yuta. In a moment of heroism, Lumi intervenes, saving him from the impending impact. The incident, which could have been mundane, unfolds into a strangely romantic moment. However, Yuta's hopeful interpretation is shattered as Lumi, rather than reciprocating any sentiment, reacts with cute shyness, smashing his face in an unexpected display of frustration. The atmosphere takes a darker turn as Lumi accuses Yuta of being a creep, expressing regret for not allowing the substance to hit him instead. Unsheathing her sword, she declares her disdain for all men and prepares to attack. Yet, before the confrontation escalates, a peculiar twist transpires. Lumi experiences an uncontrollable outpouring of fluids, leaving Yuta utterly perplexed and momentarily halting the impending clash. In the midst of this bewildering situation, Genius, ever the diplomatic bird, attempts to simplify the circumstances for Yuta. He reveals that Lumi is currently undergoing a phenomenon known as the springs of lust, a phase experienced by women in this fantastical realm when a desire to breed arises. Yuta, caught off guard, maintains a poker face but can't shake off the feeling of being unwittingly embroiled in a peculiar romantic subplot. Choosing to navigate the delicate conversation with a blend of curiosity and nonchalance, Yuta questions Lumi about her apparent contradiction. He inquires why, despite her avowed disdain for men, she finds herself in the throes of the springs of lust. This line of questioning, however, only serves to stoke the flames of Lumi's frustration. In a fit of anger, she chastises Genius for his candid revelation, resorting to colorful insults and dismissing him as a stupid bird. Yuta, quick to point out the inconsistency in Lumi's statements, reminds her that she earlier acknowledged Genius as godlike. Unwilling to endure further teasing, Lumi accuses Yuta of looking down on her and vehemently denies any inclination towards someone like him. As if weaving through the strands of an intricate dance, Yuta, demonstrating a mix of cunning and playfulness, subtly engages with Lumi. A simple touch of her fingers manages to reignite the flames of desire within her. The unexpected turn leaves Yuta astounded at the potency of his influence over the night. However, the idyllic interlude is abruptly disrupted by the entrance of a dragon-like monster. In a peculiar twist, Lumi, rather than addressing the creature accurately, refers to it as a lizard. Caught off guard, she fumbles in retrieving her sword, providing the dragon an opportunity to knock the weapon from her grasp and gain the upper hand in this fantastical skirmish. In the dire moment when the dragon threatens Lumi, the unexpected hero emerges in the form of Yuta. Swift and decisive, he seizes Lumi's sword, showcasing a mastery acquired through countless kendo classes back on Earth. With a skillful strike, he inflicts a serious injury upon the formidable beast, revealing the practical prowess of his martial arts training. Returning the sword to Lumi, Yuta playfully chastises her for momentarily dropping it, emphasizing the importance of adhering to kendo rules. Humble in his own abilities, he defers the task of slaying the dragon to the knight, acknowledging his amateur status in the world of kendo. Undeterred, the dragon charges once again, only to be met with Lumi's resolute response. Channeling the full might of her sword, she unleashes a powerful blow that sends the monster reeling. Yuta, witnessing the true potency of the sword, is left in awe of the weapon's capabilities. In the aftermath of this intense encounter, Lumi, still processing the heroic intervention, seeks an explanation from Yuta. His response is disarmingly simple: he doesn't need a reason to rescue pretty girls. Capitalizing on the moment, Yuta cheekily asserts that it's a man's duty to protect women, a statement that sends Lumi into a state of heightened excitement. Unable to restrain her overwhelming desires, Lumi kisses Yuta passionately, giving into a surge of lust and passion. Yuta, in unfamiliar territory, experiences a whirlwind of sensations as Lumi takes control, steering the narrative into uncharted territories. The fantastical journey, now infused with elements of heroism, romance, and unexpected intimacy, takes an unpredictable turn for Yuta in this enchanting realm. In the aftermath of the dragon encounter, Genius, the ever-watchful bird, observes Yuta and Lumi from the sanctuary of a tree. The narrative takes an unexpected and intense turn as Lumi, consumed by desires beyond Yuta's comprehension, initiates a passionate encounter, leaving our hero in a state of bewildered confusion. Yuta, still grappling with the inexplicable turn of events, turns to Genius for an explanation. In a revelation that shakes the very foundations of his understanding, Genius discloses a startling truth: there are no men on this planet. The colossal castle on the horizon houses a population consisting exclusively of women. In the absence of any male presence, the women are unable to restrain their impulses, and Yuta, being the first man to set foot in this world, is now tasked with a life devoted to fulfilling their unquenchable desires. Baffled and seeking answers, Yuta faces an unexpected condition. Genius asserts that Lumi, his impassioned knight companion, won't divulge any information until her immediate needs are satisfied. Yuta finds himself with no alternative but to yield, and Genius announces that this marks the commencement of the initial human mating session in more than 30 centuries. The weight of this responsibility weighs heavily on Yuta, and Lumi is equally astonished to discover that humans can undergo mating similar to animals. Upon Lumi inquiring about his passion, our protagonist resolves to make her proud and initiates his violation. Lumi is surprised by his determination, experiencing a sense of shyness, yet Yuta remains undeterred and invites her to present herself at the upcoming session. Initially hesitant, she wavers in her decision, but Yuta insists that he can only fulfill her desires if she reveals what he needs to see. Following a brief conversation, the two lovers eventually get down to the task at hand, and it unfolds as a remarkably intense manifestation of their passion. The sensation is entirely novel for both Lumi and Yuta, as neither has engaged in such acts previously. Gradually, our hero skillfully employs the prowess of his tongue, rendering an overwhelming experience for Lumi. The intensity reaches a climax, leading the knightly girl to succumb to a state of complete satisfaction, causing her to pass out. Yuta, in the aftermath, slowly comprehends the extent of his actions, but perplexingly, he too loses consciousness beside her. Amidst this scene, Genius, maintaining a clandestine presence, observes the entire episode from a tree, assuming the role of a surreptitious spectator. With the arrival of daylight in the fantasy world, Yuta stirs from his slumber, his surroundings bathed in the soft glow of morning. An instinctual search for Lumi leads him to discover her, nestled against a tree trunk, her face concealed in an attempt to hide the lingering shyness from the previous night's events. Yuta, relieved to see her returning to a semblance of normalcy, contemplates the implications of Lumi's recent heat, pondering whether her bodily fluids possess some form of narcotic effect. As Yuta attempts to engage in conversation, he realizes that Lumi, still not ready to face him, unwittingly exposes more than she intended due to the aftermath of their intimate encounter. Seizing the opportunity for a lighthearted moment, Yuta cracks a joke, finding amusement in the situation. However, his brand of humor falls flat for Lumi, who, overwhelmed by embarrassment, delivers a direct hit to Yuta's face. Drowning in humiliation, Lumi contemplates ending it all by unsheathing her sword, yet Yuta intervenes. He challenges the notion of punishment, asserting that he shouldn't be held accountable for her inability to control her passion. The verbal skirmish escalates, and in the midst of this comical confrontation, Genius, the ever-watchful bird, remains an observer, opting not to intervene in the unfolding drama. As Yuta and Lumi embark on their journey to the town, the pressing need to conceal Yuta's gender becomes apparent. Understanding the potential chaos that the presence of a human male could cause, Lumi decides to take him to the stray elf store, deeming it a safer haven where his secret can be kept. The concept of men being mythical creatures in this world, untouched by its denizens for thousands of years, adds a layer of mystery to Yuta's predicament. As the duo walks, Yuta grapples with the memories of the angelic figure who appeared after his encounter with the monstrous entity. The purpose of his existence in this new realm remains shrouded in uncertainty, leaving him with burning questions about his role and a yearning to find a way back to Earth. Their journey eventually leads them to the stray elf store, presenting itself as a peculiar establishment. Shrouded in an air of skepticism due to a dubious clearance sale and questionable signage, Yuta hesitates to enter. However, his reluctance takes an intriguing turn when he notices that the signs are written in Japanese kanji. This discovery adds a layer of familiarity, sparking a glimmer of intrigue and curiosity in Yuta. As Yuta and Lumi approach the stray elf store, a realization strikes Yuta. He has been conversing with Lumi in Japanese all along. This discovery challenges the notion of a parallel world, as Lumi reveals that they are conversing in the Caesarean language. This linguistic revelation only adds to the mysteries surrounding Yuta's presence in this fantastical realm. Entering the shop, Yuta, somewhat suspicious due to Genius's absence, is reassured by Lumi, who attributes the bird's casual nature to his current whereabouts. The shopkeeper, a cat girl named Sayuri, greets Lumi. Yuta, still grappling with the peculiarities of this world, questions whether Sayuri is truly a stray elf, given her feline appearance. Lumi, however, insists that this is how stray elves look. The conversation takes an unexpected turn when Sayuri, while interacting with Yuta, notices that he is a human male. The revelation surprises Yuta, realizing that his identity was easily discerned. Intrigued by the significance placed on the voice of a human male, Yuta seeks clarification on why it's a matter of such importance in this mystical realm. The enigmatic journey continues, as Yuta confronts the complexities of this fantastical world, its inhabitants, and the unique challenges presented by his own presence within it. Sayuri's revelation about Yuta's voice matching that of the call, the apparent natural enemy in this world, raises further questions about the intricacies of this fantastical realm. Yuta learns that customers wearing a uniform similar to his often visit the shop, but none of them are human males. In a whimsical turn of events, Sayuri offers Yuta a piece of candy, promising that it will transform his voice to sound like that of a girl, effectively concealing his identity. Despite the unappealing taste of the candy, Yuta consumes it, altering his voice to a cute, feminine tone. The unexpected change amuses Lumi, who seems delighted by the transformation. Yuta, suspecting the candy might be akin to helium, finds himself in a humorous situation, explaining the concept to the girls who remain oblivious to Earth's nuances. Sayuri, generously offering Lumi a week's supply of the transformative candy, encourages them to keep Yuta's identity hidden. As they proceed to shop, Yuta, now adorned in feminine attire, reflects on the unexpected turn of events, acknowledging his venture into the realm of cross-dressing. The cultural divide becomes apparent when Lumi, unfamiliar with the term, highlights the absence of men in their world. Amidst the lighthearted atmosphere, Lumi reiterates the crucial need for Yuta to conceal his true identity. The whimsical journey continues, blending elements of humor, cultural differences, and the underlying challenges posed by Yuta's presence in a world where the very concept of a human male is met with awe, curiosity, and even potential danger. Understanding the gravity of the situation, Yuta agrees to the importance of keeping his identity a secret, recognizing the potential danger it poses to his life in this unfamiliar world. The agreement doesn't end there, as Lumi asks for one more promise, that Yuta will refrain from touching any girl. The explanation is given that physical contact can inadvertently reveal Yuta's true nature, a lesson learned from Lumi's own experience. Understanding the potential consequences, Yuta, accustomed to his loner tendencies on Earth, agrees to this condition. As they journey towards the town, Yuta attempts to share anecdotes from his life on Earth, but the cultural gap becomes evident. Lumi, lacking knowledge of earthly customs, finds Yuta's stories perplexing. Lumi, in her role as a paladin, advises Yuta to avoid wandering in the forest due to the presence of monsters, echoing the danger posed by creatures like the earlier dragon. Attempting to highlight her protective capabilities, Lumi's bravado takes a humorous turn when she steps into a sizable pile of dragon excrement. Yuta, amused by the situation, teases her, challenging the conventional image of paladins as unyielding warriors. Lumi, in her embarrassment, inadvertently becomes the subject of Yuta's playful banter, a dynamic that continues as they approach the town's wall. The whimsical journey unfolds with a blend of danger, cultural differences, and moments of lighthearted humor between Yuta and his newfound companion. Approaching the town's massive wall, Yuta is struck by its size and wonders about the purpose it serves in protecting the inhabitants. To his surprise, Lumi commands the doors to open, revealing a bustling town within. As they enter, Yuta is greeted by a pair of enthusiastic little girls, Mona and Lisa, who inquire about Lumi's return from the forest. Lumi introduces Yuta as a girl she found in the forest, concealing his true identity. The twins, known for their honesty, immediately point out the stench emanating from Lumi. Yuta, secretly pleased, watches as the twins unabashedly insult Lumi's odor. Their straightforwardness adds a touch of humor to the encounter. The introduction continues as they meet Lilia, who expresses relief at Lumi's return from scouting. However, her primary concern is the unpleasant smell emanating from Lumi. With her reputation on the line, Lumi decides to take a bath, leaving the interaction with Yuta to Lilia. Lilia, known as the town's best archer, decides to treat Yuta to a meal. The twins emphasize the importance of respecting both Lilia and Lumi, recognizing them as the guardians safeguarding the town. Despite their straightforward nature, Lilia chastises the twins for being rude and takes Yuta on a tour of the town. As Yuta explores the unfamiliar surroundings, he marvels at the fact that his female disguise remains undetected. The lack of knowledge about men in this world becomes apparent, explaining the seamless acceptance of Yuta's fabricated identity. The journey unfolds with a blend of humor, cultural nuances, and the discovery of the unique dynamics within the town. As Yuta explores the town, he notices its historical appearance, resembling a ruin that lacks maintenance and repairs. He attributes this to the absence of men, presuming that women might not excel in such tasks. This observation adds another layer to his understanding of the unique dynamics within this world. Engaging in conversation with Lilia, she offers him cold tea, surprising Yuta due to the cultural difference from Earth. Ever the observant character, Yuta quickly assesses Lilia's attributes, expressing a preference for Lumi's appeal over Lilia's flat body and short hair. Unbeknownst to him, Lilia catches Yuta staring at her chest, prompting her to inquire about it. Yuta, displaying his sassy attitude, denies seeing anything significant. Attempting to introduce himself using male pronouns in the Japanese language, Yuta adds an element of confusion to the conversation, with Lilia seeking clarity. Yuta dismisses it casually, continuing the banter. However, a clumsy moment occurs as Yuta accidentally spills tea on himself. Lilia offers to help clean it up, but Yuta declines. In a surprising turn, Lilia takes matters into her own hands, reaching out to hold Yuta's hand to assess the wetness of his clothes. This unexpected physical contact triggers a reaction in Lilia, as she begins to sense Yuta's true nature. Falling to the ground in a frenzy, she succumbs to the same passionate state that affected Lumi earlier. Yuta, now facing the consequences of his actions, becomes worried for his safety as Lilia, too, falls victim to the mysterious effects of encountering a human male in this enchanting world. The whimsical journey takes an unexpected turn, blending humor, cultural clashes, and the unforeseen challenges brought about by Yuta's presence. In the aftermath of Lilia succumbing to her overwhelming desires, she rolls on the floor, struggling to control her urges, while Yuta observes the situation with an air of cluelessness. Despite her internal turmoil, Lilia attempts to maintain composure, grappling with the unpredictable reactions of her own body. Yuta, seemingly unfazed, casually inquires about her well-being. As Lilia grapples with the internal struggle, she becomes conscious of potential judgment from Yuta. The societal norms in this fantastical world dictate that women must discreetly manage their desires. While initially confused, Lilia swiftly pieces together the puzzle, realizing that Yuta's true identity as a boy triggered her uncontrollable response. Acknowledging his mistake, Yuta doesn't deny Lilia's revelation, confirming her suspicions. Intrigued and curious, Lilia approaches Yuta, eager to explore and touch his face, having only encountered images of men in books. Yuta, now on guard, senses a more pressing issue at hand. Unable to suppress her desires any longer, Lilia launches a passionate attack on Yuta's tongue, mirroring the earlier encounter with Lumi. As Yuta succumbs to the effects of the mysterious fluids, a sense of drowsiness sets in, leaving him to grapple with the consequences of his actions in this enchanting and unpredictable world. Just as the tension is about to escalate between Yuta and Lilia, Lumi returns from her shower, proudly announcing her newfound fragrance of flowers. Both Yuta and Lilia manage to compose themselves, sitting normally at the table. Lilia, however, continues to struggle with her desires, prompting Yuta to create a diversion. He cleverly asks Lumi to guide him to the toilet, leading him away from the potentially explosive situation. Guided to his small but satisfactory room, Yuta expresses his hunger, drawing suspicion from Lumi, who notes that Lilia had already taken him to a restaurant. Awkwardly, Yuta explains that he had only consumed tea, prompting Lumi to fetch him some food. However, the meal turns out to be a mixture of fruits and vegetables, typical of what girls might enjoy. Despite his displeasure, Yuta refrains from complaining, acknowledging that it's preferable to dragon meat. The conversation shifts to the kingdom of Caesar, and Yuta learns that he is in the city of Meath, one of the 5 cities in the kingdom, alongside the massive castle. Lumi emphasizes the exclusive female population in these locations, making Yuta the sole man in this world. The realization excites Lumi, manifesting in a noticeable release of fluids, prompting Yuta to playfully tease her about her desires. In response, Lumi, feeling shy, scolds Yuta, adding a touch of humor to the unfolding dynamics in this fantastical realm. As Lumi decides to leave the room, Yuta seizes the opportunity to ask a crucial question about the peculiar nature of childbirth in this world where only women exist. Even Lumi, despite her familiarity with the kingdom, admits to being unaware of the intricacies of reproduction. She only knows that children emerge from the main castle, devoid of memories from their time inside. This revelation leaves Yuta with much to ponder, especially as he continues to scrutinize the kingdom's facilities. Surveying his surroundings, Yuta notes the absence of both electricity and candles, relying on the planet's 2 moons for illumination. However, his thoughts gravitate towards the unsettling story of children emerging from the castle without memories. A sense of suspicion envelopes him, prompting a desire to unravel the mysteries concealed within the castle's walls. While he can't take immediate action, Yuta reclines in bed, reflecting on his encounter with Lilia. Feeling remorseful for inadvertently triggering Lilia's intense desires, Yuta resolves to exercise caution, vowing not to let other girls touch him in such a manner. However, his contemplation is interrupted by a knock on the door. To his surprise, Lilia stands before him, diverting the conversation from their previous encounter to address another concern, the enigma of her own fountain of youth. The fantastical elements of this world continue to unravel as Yuta grapples with the complexities surrounding him. In a revealing flashback, we glimpse Lilia engrossed in a collection of books. Lumi, entering the scene, acknowledges Lilia's diligence but confesses her preference for the visual content over reading. Lumi's interest lies in understanding how people lived in the past to inform her present life. Interestingly, Lilia cannot decipher the written words, as the people of this world have forgotten their letters. The potential wealth of knowledge within the books remains untapped due to the lost language. Lumi remarks on the sheer volume of unread books, emphasizing that even if they knew the letters, it would be an insurmountable task to go through all of them. She reminds Lilia not to miss the quintet meeting, warning that their leader, Misaki, becomes upset if anyone is tardy. With a promise to attend the meeting, Lilia agrees, and as Lumi departs, we gain insight into Lilia's true motivation. Contrary to her professed dedication to studying, Lilia is captivated by the images of men within the books, fueling a deep-seated desire. Her fascination with the past, particularly the presence of men, adds a layer of complexity to her character. In the labyrinth of unfolding desires and untamed emotions, the narrative takes a captivating turn, delving into the depths of Lilia's unspoken yearnings. The echoes of her words, whispered to Yuta in the hushed sanctuary of the library, reverberate through the corridors of her consciousness. Lilia, gripped by the fervor of her desires, had sought solace within the pages of knowledge, an attempt to quench a thirst that had long been denied. The present moment finds Lilia standing before a human male, the embodiment of her deepest yearnings finally materialized. The prospect of fulfilling her lifelong desire to mate with a human leaves her in a state of vulnerability, caught between the currents of passion and restraint. The suddenness of the situation overwhelms Lilia, and despite her valiant efforts to resist, the relentless tide of desire renders her utterly helpless. Turning to Yuta, Lilia lays bare her internal struggle, pleading for his assistance in navigating the tumult of emotions that threaten to consume her. The air is charged with an intoxicating aroma, the scent of desire emanating from Lilia's very being. It is a fragrance more potent than even Lumi's, leaving Yuta momentarily bewildered. Yuta, a novice in the realm of intimate encounters, grapples with the unfamiliar territory of female desire. Sensing Lilia's urgency, he suggests that she take matters into her own hands, unaware of the futility of such attempts. In response, Lilia, with a mix of embarrassment and sincerity, confesses that previous solitary endeavors have failed to satiate her longing for him. In a light-hearted moment, Yuta remarks on the timeless nature of female desires, drawing a blush from Lilia, who inadvertently unveils the intimate details of her solitary pursuits. Rather than being put off, Yuta finds her candid revelation endearing, inviting her to express her desires more openly. Caught in the throes of passion, Lilia, driven by the knowledge gleaned from the pages of ancient tomes, boldly declares her yearning to experience the act of human mating. In the delicate dance of emotions, Yuta, recognizing the weight of the moment, seeks to impart a lesson on the sanctity of human connection. He imparts the wisdom that the act of mating should be reserved for those who share a genuine liking for each other, weaving a thread of earnestness into the fabric of his words. However, the simplicity of his advice triggers an unexpected panic within Lilia. Misinterpreting Yuta's well-intentioned counsel, Lilia grapples with the notion that her desire stems merely from the fact that Yuta is a man, rather than any profound affection. Yuta's attempt to calm her down inadvertently sparks a tumultuous exchange, as Lilia delves into a monologue about her perceived lack of qualities that could inspire genuine affection. Yuta, ever the voice of reason, asserts that their understanding of each other is still in its infancy, a mere whisper in the vast symphony of their potential connection. Yet, Lilia, haunted by insecurities and the perceived abundance of choices in Yuta's world, plunges into a dramatic proclamation that it's the end of the road for her. Attempting to downplay the theatrics, Yuta encourages Lilia not to be overly dramatic. However, she remains resolute, asserting that her reaction is justified. In a poignant moment, she expresses the profound sadness of being rejected by the sole man in her world. The crushing of her dream, even after it came true, paints a poignant picture of vulnerability. As Lilia shares the depth of her emotional turmoil, a subtle shift occurs in the air. The potency of her desire, intensified by the rejection, begins to permeate the surroundings, clouding Yuta's thoughts. The once clear stream of reasoning gives way to a fog of confusion, as he concedes that the elusive fountain of desire possesses an intoxicating quality, hindering his ability for critical thought. Embraced by the intoxicating atmosphere of desire, Yuta finds himself teetering on the edge of surrender to the potent allure that envelopes both him and Lilia. In a bid to clarify his position, he reassures Lilia that his hesitation is not a rejection but a desire to deepen their connection before taking such an intimate step once again. Yuta, the reluctant navigator of this uncharted emotional terrain, lays out a condition for Lilia. He proposes that to truly understand each other, she must reveal her authentic self. It's a daunting prospect for the spirited tomboy, but Yuta emphasizes that this is the path to realizing her long-held dream. While a hint of shyness colors Lilia's demeanor, Yuta, with a playful touch, insists that he's only encouraging her to pursue her own desires. As Yuta slips into his sassy mode, he playfully comments on Lilia's physique, invoking a blush that deepens her already flushed cheeks. The air crackles with a mixture of tension and lighthearted banter, creating a moment suspended in the delicate balance between desire and self-discovery. A sequence of events unfolds as Yuta, armed with a dash of humor and sincerity, guides Lilia through the process of bearing her true self. The journey is punctuated by moments of shyness and laughter, each step bringing them closer to a clearer understanding. However, as the scene draws to a close, the anticipation looms over Lilia. The prospect of her first intimate encounter weighs heavily on her, casting a veil of nervous excitement over the culmination of desires and the unfolding of their shared journey. In the haze of desire and the obscured landscape of the unknown, Yuta finds himself grappling with the intricacies of a situation he's yet to navigate. The air thickens with the heady scent, making precision elusive amid the sea of bodily fluids. Hindered by the overpowering aroma, Yuta, ever the candid protagonist, questions the intensity of Lilia's desires, humorously inquiring about the depths of her longing to be in such a heightened state of heat. As the tension escalates, Yuta, attempting to break the erotic spell, lightens the mood with a playful jest about never imagining Lilia in such a context due to her seemingly serious demeanor. Amidst banter and laughter, Yuta steels himself to address the matter at hand, the dark night providing an intimate backdrop to their unfolding connection. Navigating the uncharted waters, Yuta, armed with a blend of humor and sincerity, approaches the situation with a degree of uncertainty. The nocturnal setting lends an air of secrecy to their interactions, shrouding their intimate exploration in a cloak of darkness. Meanwhile, in a separate realm of thoughts, Lumi, Yuta's silent admirer, contemplates the well-being of her newfound companion. The longing to be close to him is palpable, yet the walls of hesitancy and the novelty of their connection hold her back. Suppressing her own desires, Lumi wrestles with conflicting emotions. However, a pivotal realization strikes her as she recalls Yuta's words about a man's duty to protect women. Haunted by the echo of Yuta's sentiment, Lumi, unable to resist the allure of his scent, contemplates a subtle act of intimacy. Transforming her pillow into a surrogate vessel for her emotions, she playfully dubs it the Yuta pillow. Still carrying the lingering fragrance of their shared moments, Lumi resolves to seek a connection, symbolized by the exchange of scents, as she contemplates a unique and unconventional way to bridge the emotional distance between them. In the clandestine shadows of the night, Yuta skillfully executes his finishing move, leaving Lilia in a state of blissful wakefulness. A stark contrast to Lumi's earlier fate, who succumbed to a post-passion slumber. As the aftermath unfolds, Yuta casually unveils that a similar encounter had transpired with the night girl, inadvertently sparking a twinge of jealousy in Lilia. The revelation shatters Lilia's assumption that she was Yuta's first, leaving her grappling with a newfound sense of possessiveness. The realization that she's now part of a different chapter in Yuta's otherworldly journey dawns upon her, and a palpable fear of losing him takes root. Yuta, delighted by the confession, reciprocates with an eagerness to explore deeper connections with Lilia. Unbeknownst to Yuta, the room isn't as private as he assumes, and a silent spectator emerges. Lumi, bearing witness to the intimate scene, grapples with the sight before her. The emotions stirred within her remain a mystery as the chapter concludes, leaving a tantalizing anticipation of the evolving dynamics in this parallel world. As the narrative gracefully transitions to the next chapter, a succinct recap highlights Yuta's journey in this enchanting realm. The accidental visitor to a world devoid of men finds himself entangled with two captivating companions, Lumi and Lilia. Yet, the paradise he envisioned takes an unexpected turn as the delicate balance is disrupted by a revelation witnessed by the unsuspecting Lumi, casting a shadow over the purity of Yuta's newfound connections. The tale, a captivating blend of desire, jealousy, and unexplored emotions, sets the stage for the chapters yet to unfold in this fantastical narrative. In the wake of the unexpected revelation, Yuta finds himself in the precarious position of explaining his actions to Lumi, anticipating a storm of emotions. However, to his surprise, Lumi's reaction is not one of anger or betrayal. Rather, she calmly acknowledges Yuta's right to enjoy himself in a world where he is the sole representative of the male gender. This unexpected response leaves both Yuta and Lilia bewildered. Lumi elucidates a unique perspective, expressing that Yuta belongs to all the women in their world. The complexity of this situation weighs on Yuta's conscience, and he grapples with a sense of guilt for inadvertently entwining himself in a web of desires and expectations. As Lumi gracefully exits the room, she affords Yuta the space to continue his encounter with Lilia. However, the tomboyish Lilia, clad in her attire, pursues Lumi into the streets. In an effort to make sense of the unfolding dynamics, she confronts Lumi, questioning her awareness of Yuta's true identity. Lumi, admitting her knowledge of Yuta's gender, reveals her intention to maintain secrecy to prevent chaos in their world. Lilia, burdened by the weight of her actions and passions, confesses to feeling overwhelmed since the discovery of Yuta's presence. In a moment of vulnerability, she apologizes for succumbing to her desires and losing control. Understanding Lilia's predicament, Lumi extends a compassionate reassurance, urging her not to be too hard on herself. Acknowledging the overpowering allure of a man's presence in their female-dominated world, Lumi offers understanding and empathy, weaving a tapestry of complex emotions and connections in the fantastical landscape they inhabit. In the fading light of day, Lumi opens up to Lilia, confessing the intimate moments she shared with Yuta and admitting that she, too, has been grappling with overwhelming feelings ever since. Lumi reveals her own desire to keep Yuta a secret, acknowledging a sense of selfishness in wanting to have him all to herself. A tinge of guilt colors her confession, contemplating whether her own actions might be the root cause of the unfolding emotional entanglements. Lilia, displaying empathy, extends a measure of understanding to her fellow companion. However, as the darkness envelopes the surroundings, the two girls decide to postpone their conversation about Yuta until the following day. With that, they part ways, leaving the evening to settle in the quiet streets. Unbeknownst to them, Yuta, hidden in the shadows, eavesdrops on their exchange, absorbing the complexities of their emotions and relationships. The veil of secrecy begins to unravel, revealing the intricacies of the emotions that bind the trio. As Lumi returns to her room, still clutching the Yuta pillow, a subtle undercurrent of sadness shadows her expression. The symbolic gesture of tossing the pillow and releasing her frustration through a series of punches unveils the depth of her emotional turmoil. Tears stream down her face, betraying a mix of anger and heartache, hinting at the possibility that Lumi's feelings for Yuta might be evolving into something more profound. Meanwhile, Yuta, lying in bed, reflects on the events that have transpired. The fantasy world they inhabit adds a layer of complexity to the emotions at play, blurring the lines between reality and the fantastical. The narrative, a tapestry of desires, secrets, and unspoken emotions, sets the stage for the uncharted territories that lie ahead in the tangled web of Yuta's journey. As the echoes of his actions linger in the recesses of his mind, Yuta finds himself grappling with an unexpected wave of melancholy. Despite the absence of commitments or formal relationships, a sense of self-induced depression envelopes him. The unfamiliarity of this fantastical world filled with women leaves Yuta pondering his purpose and role in this unique environment. After a night of introspective musings, Yuta awakens to the pangs of hunger. Hindered by a sense of unease in reaching out to Lumi or Lilia, he opts for a solo venture into town in search of sustenance. The bustling streets, teeming solely with women, strike a disconcerting chord for our hero. The absence of men, a stark contrast to the familiar landscape of Earth, adds an unsettling layer to his experience. As Yuta meanders through the unfamiliar surroundings, a sense of discomfort gnaws at him, extending beyond the social challenges posed by an all-female society. An intangible anomaly tingles at the edge of his perception, triggering a growing sense of paranoia. The air becomes charged with an unspoken tension, heightening Yuta's unease. In a moment fraught with suspense, a voice breaks the silence, calling out to him from behind. Yuta, on edge and consumed by his swirling thoughts, turns to face the unexpected intruder, setting the stage for a new chapter in his fantastical journey. Relieved that the voice belonged to the familiar faces of Mona and Lisa, Yuta faces a sudden confrontation about his interactions with Lumi and Lilia. The twins, wearing expressions of disapproval, get straight to the point, questioning Yuta about any indecent activities with the night girl and the archer girl. Aware of the potential fallout, Yuta hesitates to reveal the truth and instead opts for a denial. The twins, not easily swayed, inform Yuta that Lumi and Lilia are waiting for him in the library. The urgency in their tone sparks a sense of panic in Yuta, prompting him to hasten to the designated meeting spot. As he arrives, Lumi, seemingly displeased with his tardiness, directs playful mockery at his sleeping habits. Yuta, with a hint of humor, explains his reliance on a clock to wake up early, to which Lumi suggests using the bell as an alternative. However, the atmosphere takes a serious turn as Lumi addresses the events of the previous night. She discloses that both she and Lilia have decided to feign ignorance about the intimate encounter. The reasoning behind this decision lies in the rarity of a man appearing in their world after more than 3,000 years. Recognizing the need for a collective approach, Lumi and Lilia decide to keep their secret sessions with Yuta concealed from the other three members of the quintet, emphasizing the gravity of the situation that transcends their personal desires. The intricate dance of secrecy and collaboration unfolds, as Yuta grapples with the implications of his presence in this fantastical realm. Yuta, finding resonance in Lumi's explanation, agrees to the plan and reassures both Lumi and Lilia that he trusts them implicitly. His genuine statement evokes a blush from the two girls, but Lumi quickly admonishes him for playing the role of a smooth operator. Undeterred, Yuta expresses his confidence in the quintet, affirming his belief that the girls would never cause him harm. The tender moment gets interrupted as the remaining three members of the quintet arrive, inquiring about the purpose of the meeting. Yuta, ever the appreciative observer, takes in the sight of the newcomers, their charm matching that of his growing harem. The girls, unaware of Yuta's true nature, banter about his presence until Lumi interjects, dropping the bombshell that Yuta is, in fact, a human male. The revelation sends shockwaves through the trio, their disbelief etched across their faces as they gazed at Yuta in utter astonishment. Lumi and Lilia stand by, awaiting the reactions that will undoubtedly reshape the dynamics of their interactions and bring about a new chapter in this fantastical tale. As the room brims with curiosity and anticipation, Yuta finds himself compelled to reveal the truth about his identity. The quintet members, each with their unique personalities, react in varied ways to the astonishing revelation. First in line is the guardian, Haru, who initially dismisses the idea as a joke, struggling to fathom the possibility of a man's presence. Following her, the lancer, Momo, already entertains enticing thoughts about the novelty of a man in their midst, sparking a blend of curiosity and excitement. Lastly, the strider, Misaki, remains skeptical, unwilling to believe in the existence of a man, especially given the long absence of males in their world for over 3,000 years. with no tangible proof to settle the matter. The women, driven by their desire for confirmation, urge Yuta to reveal the one thing he has not shown any girl before. Although taken aback by the bold request, Yuta grapples with the pressure as the women insist that, like male animals, he should possess certain anatomical features. The playful insistence of the quintet converges on Yuta, who feels like he's on display in an art gallery. Amidst the fervor, Lilia encourages Yuta to demonstrate his manliness by unveiling his hidden attribute. However, Yuta, perplexed by the escalating excitement, openly expresses his disinterest in displaying his body. In an unexpected twist, the effects of the voice candy wear off, revealing Yuta's true voice. The shock of this revelation pales in comparison to the newfound interest of the quintet women, marking a pivotal moment in the unfolding narrative. As Yuta grapples with the unexpected revelation of his true voice, he realizes that he had forgotten to take his daily dose of the voice-altering candy, inadvertently exposing himself to the quintet. The shock of his unaltered voice triggers a cascade of events, with Misaki identifying it as the same voice as the call, igniting a fury within her. Believing Yuta to be one of the call, Misaki unsheathes her blade, ready to attack. Quick intervention from the other women prevents an immediate clash. Despite attempts to reason with her, Misaki remains steadfast in her conviction that Yuta is evil and must be dealt with. Haru urges her to calm down, but Misaki questions why Lumi and Lilia would allow someone like Yuta into their city. Lilia steps forward, asserting that judging Yuta solely based on his voice is illogical, especially when his appearance bears no resemblance to the call. The realization that she might have overstepped quiets Misaki, but her pride prevents her from offering an apology. She defiantly walks away, declaring her refusal to share the same air as a man. Left with the other four girls, Lilia sheds light on Misaki's intense hatred for the call, explaining that her sister fell victim to an attack by one of the call members. This tragic incident fuels Misaki's deep-seated animosity towards their natural enemies. Yuta, now aware of the heightened tension surrounding the call in this world, grapples with the complexities of the relationships and rivalries that shape the fantastical landscape he finds himself in. Amidst the tension and lingering animosities, Lilia steers the conversation toward the pressing issue at hand: what to do with Yuta in this new world. The quintet deliberates on the crucial question of whether anyone else is aware of a man's presence. The consensus is that the humans are blissfully ignorant of Yuta's existence, except for the cat girl, Sayuri, who provided him with the transformative candy. However, the group acknowledges Sayuri's allegiance to the humans, deeming her a safe secret keeper. Haru suggests that, in a typical situation, news of a man's presence should be taken directly to the queen. Lumi interjects, highlighting the prevalence of women like Misaki, harboring deep-seated animosity towards men. Fearing that this resentment might lead to unwarranted hostility, especially in the context of the call, Lumi proposes the temporary solution of concealing Yuta's true gender by presenting him as a girl. This, she argues, is the safest way to protect him from potential harm. Acknowledging the wisdom in Lumi's suggestion, Yuta agrees to adopt this discreet approach, allowing him the time to acclimate to this unfamiliar world and make informed decisions about his future. The prospect of unraveling the mysteries of this enchanting realm becomes a driving force, propelling Yuta into a journey of discovery and self-determination within the confines of the quintet's intricate dynamics. With a newfound sense of purpose and the resolve to fulfill any duties arising from his presence in this reincarnated world, Yuta commits to taking his daily dose of candy without fail. The girls, satisfied with this agreement, express their approval. However, Lumi, even the cautious one, reminds Yuta not to forget the crucial routine. As the meeting concludes, Momo, one of the quintet members, announces her departure, subtly hinting at a future conversation with Yuta. The enigmatic promise leaves Yuta in awe, while Lumi and Lilia display expressions of disapproval. Lumi, desiring Yuta's company, invites him to her room, requesting his assistance with something. Yuta, eager to comply, agrees to join her. However, Lilia, sensing an undercurrent of tension, becomes alert after hearing Lumi's request. Simultaneously, in a hidden corner, Momo reveals her clandestine intentions. Driven by a desire to monopolize the first man to grace their world in over 3 centuries, she plots a sinister course of action. The stage is set for a complex interplay of desires, alliances, and hidden agendas as Yuta navigates the intricacies of his relationships within the quintet. Now in Lumi's room, Yuta is exposed to the opulence befitting her paladin status, setting the scene for unfolding events in this fantastical realm. In the midst of the fantastical perplexities surrounding his presence, Yuta seeks clarity on why he has been brought to this world. Lumi, with an enigmatic air, unveils a peculiar item, the Yuta pillow, which exudes an unsettling aura. Puzzled and somewhat uneasy, Yuta is further confused when Lumi requests him to hug the pillow. Attempting to comprehend the odd task, Yuta reluctantly complies, driven by a sense of obligation to make amends for his recent involvement with Lilia. As he questions the purpose behind the peculiar act, Lumi abruptly snatches the pillow away and pushes Yuta out of her room, leaving him bewildered by her sudden change in demeanor. Outside, Yuta contemplates the bizarre encounter while Lumi, alone with the pillow, embraces it with an unsettling joy. In the solitude of her room, she engages in inexplicable actions, finding comfort in the scent that now lingers on the pillow. Meanwhile, as Yuta grapples with confusion, the mention of him as a human male captures his attention. Turning to face the speaker, he is relieved to find Genius reappearing, though the peculiar mention of 3 legs adds another layer of intrigue to this already enigmatic encounter. The narrative takes an unexpected turn as Genius returns, setting the stage for further revelations and unforeseen developments in this mesmerizing tale. Engaging in banter with Genius, Yuta playfully mocks the talking bird for its rebellious spirit, going so far as to compare him to a crow. However, Genius, unfazed by the jets, redirects the conversation to a more pressing matter: Yuta's apparent lack of intimate encounters with the girls in this world. Yuta, maintaining his stance against becoming a mere mating machine, expresses his reluctance. However, Genius contends that such hesitations are unnatural, emphasizing the inherent desire for humans to engage in intimate relationships, particularly with attractive partners. Adding a layer of urgency, Genius reveals a crucial aspect of this fantastical world: the imperative for girls to mate as they reach adulthood. Failing to do so would result in a grim fate, a revelation that shocks Yuta to the core. Caught off guard by the gravity of this revelation, Yuta unleashes a scream of discomfort, grappling with the implications of the world's peculiar rules. The interplay between Yuta and Genius takes a thought-provoking turn, introducing a layer of complexity to the narrative and setting the stage for further exploration of the fantastical world's intricacies. Struggling to come to terms with the shocking revelation about the girl's fate in this world, Yuta reflects on the unease he felt earlier when surrounded by young girls in the town. Genius further elucidates that the overwhelming passion displayed by the girls upon encountering a man is an instinctual response, a survival mechanism ingrained in their nature. The fountain of passion, as Genius describes it, serves as a means of luring men, an essential aspect for the survival of the female population. Yuta queries if all the girls are aware of this reality, to which Genius confirms that they acknowledge their limited lifespan upon reaching adulthood. However, the crucial knowledge that mating with a man can extend their lives remains unknown to them. The absence of a man for over 30 centuries, including Genius himself, has kept this information hidden from the women. Confronted with the grim reality, Yuta grapples with the impossibility of saving millions of girls with his mere presence. Despite this, Genius grants Yuta the freedom to decide what he wishes to do with this newfound knowledge. As the talking bird takes flight, Yuta, grappling with a desire for more understanding, implores Genius to wait. He seeks clarification on whether the survival mechanism is a genetic trait or something more profound. Genius shifts to an ominous tone, revealing that the curse upon this world, an imposition by the god of deep jealousy, is responsible for the girl's plight. This deity, unlike Genius, is portrayed as a formidable and intimidating force. The revelation introduces a daunting challenge for Yuta: the potential to end God's influence and lift the curse that has shaped the destiny of the fantastical realm. As Genius takes flight, leaving Yuta deep in contemplation about the revelations he has just received, our hero grapples with the weight of the newfound knowledge. The curse, if true, suggests that even the fate of Lumi and Lilia hangs in the balance, compelling them to mate with him for their survival. In a parallel scene, Lumi showers kisses upon the Yuta pillow, immersed in the scent that reminds her of her lover boy. However, Yuta walks in unexpectedly, catching her in the act. Lumi, realizing she's been caught, attempts to play it cool, asking Yuta what he wants. With a playful tone, he claims he's there for food, prompting Lumi to suggest he chew on weeds outside. Seeing through her charade, Yuta teases Lumi, who becomes visibly shy, asking him not to look at her with those eyes. In a moment of vulnerability, Yuta straightforwardly asks Lumi if she likes him. The night girl, flustered, struggles to provide a clear answer. Yuta, asserting his uniqueness as the only man in this world, insists that it makes sense for her to like him. Lumi, overcome with emotion, admits her happiness at having Yuta as the sole male in the country. Grateful for their meeting, Yuta expresses his thanks to Lumi. However, the mood takes a sudden turn as Yuta playfully suggests the idea of mating. Lumi, overwhelmed by the fountain of passion, loses control, and the scene intensifies as Yuta decides to fulfill his desires in this female-dominated realm. With no protection in this world, our hero ventures into uncharted territories, leaving the narrative open to the intriguing possibilities and challenges that lie ahead for Yuta in this fantastical land. Thank you for tuning into this captivating journey with Yuta in the fantastical realm. If you've enjoyed the twists and turns of Part 1, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on the latest developments. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive notifications when Part 2 is uploaded. Until then, stay curious, and we'll see you soon for the next chapter of Yuta's adventures.